Good morning everyone. Today I want to talk about why I take some bad photos and why you should be taking some too. This applies whether you're taking some pictures using your phone or you're using an expensive fancy camera. Let's get started by rolling the intro. For those of you who are new to this channel, I'm Bellemare-Alford, a young photographer and filmmaker on a journey to become better at this art. I know this might seem ironic with the beautiful fall colors all around here, but I guarantee you this will all make sense in just a moment. Let's start by talking about what is a bad photo. This is going to be different for every single person. Everybody has a different type of experience, different types of shots they like, so nobody's going to agree on what is a good or bad photo. In my case, a good photo is one that I'm going to be happy to print and put on my wall, so that's what I'm trying to achieve. But more generally, I have a rating system, and this is probably useful to understand what I mean by good and bad photos. And this rating system works with stars, so 1 to 5 stars. The photos that have 1 or 2 stars are the photos I'm probably just going to delete right away and I'm not going to keep in the end. Then I have my pictures that are 3 stars. These are usually pictures that are not very good, but that they're good to show the story of the adventure I was on. So I still keep them. Sometimes these are just going to be pictures of some friends or things like that, or they're just going to be some landscape shots that are not very good, but still interesting to show the whole story of the event I was trying to capture when taking some pictures. Then there's the pictures that are 4 stars. These are pretty good pictures. I'm probably going to put them on a photo frame or something like that, but not going to print them, and probably also not going to be sharing them online. Finally, there's the pictures that are 5 stars. Those are usually my more portfolio images, so those are definitely the ones I'm going to want to go and print and put on my wall. It's also the ones I'm probably going to be sharing more online. So keeping of this in my head, the pictures that I consider to be bad are the ones that are 3 stars, and not necessarily the ones that are 1 or 2 because those are just terrible and I'm going to remove them. But the ones that are 3 stars, they're not necessarily the best, but they're not necessarily the worst, but I still consider to being not my best pictures, so that's why I call them bad pictures. Reason number 1 to take some bad photos is to learn some new techniques and test some new ideas. I don't know if you can recognize where I am right now, but this is a place where I learned to take some different astrophotography shots. At the time, I simply was online and saw that pictures from photographers taking pictures on the stars, and I was amazed by how they looked. I didn't really know how to take them, so I decided to come out here, started taking some shots. The first ones were not very good. The stars were blurry. There were so many errors, but I quickly learned that the Milky Way could be seen on this side, that I could see the North Star on this one, and start taking some star trails, and learned so much. In the whole process, I was simply testing different settings on my camera, testing different results. I got some good ones, I got some really bad ones, but I was learning all along that process, and that is what is very important. Another reason why you want to be testing some different ideas is simply to have fun and improve your photography. So for example, I've taken so many shots around here, so either if I'm on this rock right here, or when I'm going around with my kayak in fall and summer, whatever the season in winter, but I always come back and take the same shots over and over again, but always try testing different ideas. So for example, the other day with the fall colors, I took some pictures of the reflection in the water only instead of taking the whole scene. This is one of the first times I did this. Some of the shots were not really good, some of them turned out to be better, but you always want to be testing some different new ideas when you're taking some pictures in photography. Reason number 2 is to understand your gear, and this applies whether you're using your smartphone camera or using a fancy new mirrorless cameras. In both cases, you want to understand every single button on it, but also every single option inside of the menus, whether you're using the default camera app on your phone or another app, or all the menus inside of your mirrorless or DSLR camera. I think there's this thought these days that you should only be taking pictures when the conditions are perfect, so either like right now with nice colors, or when there's no light like right now, or like when there was a foggy morning, or go take a trip to take some pictures, and that when you're just around your house and it's a rainy day, the conditions are not too good, it's cloudy or something like that, you shouldn't go outside and take pictures. And this is so wrong. You actually have to go out in those conditions, because you can still take some shots and try to understand what works and what doesn't inside of your camera. You want to know which setting, everything, how it works, so that when you get in those conditions, you can actually take the shots and change the settings super quickly to adapt in them. I actually have 2 tips about that from the shoot I did the other morning. And the first one is that by accident, when I got outside, I put my camera on aperture priority. That in itself wasn't the error, but the ISO was way too high. The automatic ISO settings were way too high, and the pictures that we were taking were completely full of noise, which wasn't creating the best results possible. When I realized my error, I knew right away what to do and how to fix this error. It took 2 seconds to fix and get some better pictures right away. What is even better is that a little bit later, 2 loons came around me. They were right around here when I was taking the pictures, and I took over 1,500 pictures, and I would say only about 15 to 20 pictures of those were pictures that were not as sharp or had some problems that made them unusable in the end. All of their pictures were actually pretty fine. It's really hard choosing them because there's so many good ones. But the fact is that I actually knew how to use my camera. I knew how to change the different focus modes to get the best results. I knew how to change my settings while I was taking the pictures to get good results. And without knowing all of this, in the past I would have missed probably half of the shots in this case, where the pictures would have been out of focus, but also I would have the wrong settings for the shutter speed and things like that. So it's really important to understand all these settings if you want to be getting some amazing shots. To recap this point, it's that if you're taking some pictures and you get some bad photos, you want to go in your camera and try and tweak the settings and try and understand why are you getting bad photos and how can you improve them in the end. Before talking about my next point, I have to do a quick 1-hour run, so I'm gonna go do that, but you're gonna see it's still related to this video. If you're enjoying the video up to now, please let me know by hitting like button below, and also if you can, share this video with people. It really does help the algorithm. So see you in just a little while. 1 hour and 20 minutes of running just started. Time for my first term. The views are amazing today with the colors in the trees, but I really don't have much time to stop and take pictures. Almost halfway done and still going strong. There's about a minute left before I start doing my last 25 minutes, and those are gonna be really fast, so no more photos, no more videos. I have to concentrate on running. But now it's time to turn around. Done the running. Now it's just cool down. Reason number 3 for taking some bad photos is that sometimes bad photos are good enough to document whatever you're doing. So I think there's a lot of pressure these days with pictures on Instagram or seeing so many good pictures from different photographers to always think that the pictures you're taking should always be good. This is not true at all. I think it's very important that when you're doing some activities, so with friends, with family, I brought it a little bit to an extreme in this case while running, but in these cases it's important that you're enjoying the moment and just having fun in the moment. It's not necessary that you're taking good pictures every single time and that you pass your time behind the lens trying to get the best shot. You should be enjoying those moments. And in that case, taking a bad picture might be good enough just to show the journey, show what is happening here. When I'm running around trying to take the pictures of the fall colors, my goal is to show the fall colors. I don't have time to be thinking about the composition, thinking about if this picture is going to be good or not. I just want to take a shot to be able to share whatever I was doing. Reason number 4 to get some bad photos is actually simply to enjoy the outdoors. There's so many times that I simply took a camera, went outside, explored the outdoors, that I wouldn't have gone outside necessarily if it wasn't to take some pictures. A lot of those times I don't really want to get the best pictures possible. I'm simply going out to enjoy my time outside. Even some of my trips that I did recently, so the ones I did at Mount Rainier, things like that, are actually trips where I wasn't stressing about if I was going to get some good pictures or not. My goal was simply to go outside, enjoy the outdoors, and try and get some shots. I did get some good shots during those trips, but it wasn't the main goal to start with. So photography is a great excuse to go outside, enjoy some time outside, and that's one of the reasons why I love doing landscape photography. The 5th and final reason why you should be taking some bad photos is to learn. Photography is an art where you learn by trial and error, so if you're not making some bad photos, you're not learning inside of photography. It's that simple as that. But what is very important is also that when you take some bad photos, you don't become discouraged and ask yourself why you can never get good photos. You actually need to take your bad photos, analyze them, try to understand what is happening. Is it something in your camera? Is it something that you did in your composition? Is there something else that you can improve? And from there, try it again and take some other pictures. It might be again a bad photo, but it might be a much better one. I actually think there's a very good example, and actually what made me think about this subject in the first place. A few months ago, I went on a location scouting trip and I wasn't planning to take any pictures at all. I did do a video about that, and when I took that shot, so I'm gonna link it in the description below. But this photo was a realization for me that after years and years of taking a bunch of pictures, I actually had a bunch of techniques that I could use. I knew what to do in this use case, and this is very important because the more you make mistakes, the more you're gonna learn. The more you're gonna learn, the more you're gonna be able to apply these new techniques into different scenarios. A few weeks after taking that shot, I went on the top of the mountain, took a star trail of the pictures, and again, I did so many star trails before that weren't that good, but in this case, I knew exactly what to do. I knew how to take the shot, so because I did all those bad shots in the past, I was able to take some better ones now. I want to conclude this video by reminding you that just like for most photographers, you only see my best pictures online. For every picture I post, there's probably hundreds, if not thousands of pictures I took in the past that weren't that good, that were pretty bad photos. But taking those photos, I learned from my mistakes and got better over time. Even to this day, I still take a lot of bad photos and you still only see usually my best ones. So I want to tell you, just continue taking some bad photos and soon enough, you're going to be taking some amazing ones. If you enjoyed this video, please let me know by hitting the like button below and definitely subscribe for more content on photography and filmmaking. See you in the next one.